All right, Steelers Nation, buckle up because there's a ton of drama brewing, and it's shaking up everything we thought we knew about this team. Let's dive in because we've got some big changes unfolding in the offense, with a beast of a player starting to shake things up, while the Aaron Rodgers situation has everyone on edge. Meanwhile, there's a backup quarterback making some serious noise, and a whole backfield mystery that's dividing fans. Stick with me because this one's a roller coaster. But hey, before we jump into the chaos, I need you to show some love. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and keep this conversation rolling. Trust me, it costs you nothing and it helps us out a ton. So let's get into it. What's happening with Darnell Washington? The guy is becoming a game changer in a way that no one expected. Sure, we've all talked about his freakish size and strength, but now we're seeing a whole different side to him. Washington isn't just a physical presence anymore. He's becoming a legitimate weapon. You can see it in the way defenses react before he even gets the ball. They're not just worried about his size. They're trying to figure out how to cover a guy who moves like that. And when he gets the ball in his hands, watch out. Take that play where he threw a defender aside like they were nothing, just pure power and movement. That's not normal, and it's becoming a trend. The more they use him, the more his role grows. He's getting more targets and stepping up on big plays that used to go to other guys. What's wild is that it's not all about raw strength. He's reading defenses better, finding space, and becoming a real safety valve when the pocket starts to break down. Against Cincinnati, Washington finished with 4 catches for 67 yards. It might not be eye-popping, but the impact is undeniable. Defenses are already scrambling, trying to figure out how to handle a guy who's a mismatch no matter how they play him. Put a corner on him? Too small. Put a linebacker? He'll burn him with speed. And as a result, it's opening up the offense in ways we haven't seen in years. More space for everyone, more opportunities downfield, and more room for the guys who are already causing trouble. If Washington starts getting 7-9 targets a game, this offense might be on the verge of something special. And the crazy part? Fantasy footballers are already drooling over this guy. Get him now, and you could be laughing your way to the championship later. Now let's talk Rodgers, because this situation has turned into a full-on dilemma. After he left the game early with that wrist injury, everyone's been speculating about what this means for the team. The initial reaction? Total panic, of course. Losing a QB of his caliber is never easy. But then, the word started spreading that Rodgers was adamant about coming back. He's saying he wants to play no matter what, even with a banged-up wrist. And with a big matchup against Chicago coming up, it's got everyone fired up. Rodgers owns the Bears. We all know it. He's been the king of this rivalry for years. And even at 41, he's not about to back down from a game that means so much to the fans. The problem? The injury. The wrist may be on his non-throwing hand, but one bad hit could change everything. Still, you can't blame Rodgers for wanting to play. Fans want to see him out there, especially in what could be the last chance to see him square off against the Bears. But the question, should he? Should the team risk putting him out there for a game that's huge, but also a potential ticking time bomb? There's no easy answer. Some say rest him to avoid the risk. Others say this is Rodgers, and when the Bears are on the other side, the rivalry is worth it. It's one of those situations where either choice feels like it could go down in history. If he plays and wins, it's classic Rodgers. If he gets hurt? Well, then we're left with the aftermath of a hard decision. Now here's where it gets interesting. If Rodgers can't go, there's a backup on the bench who might just turn this whole debate on its head. Enter Mason Rudolph. Ever since he stepped in for Rodgers against Cincinnati, things have shifted. People are starting to look at Rudolph differently. Not just because he kept the offense alive, but because he might be ready for more. Chris Hoke, a former Steeler and a guy who knows the game inside and out, publicly praised Rudolph's composure and hinted that there's potential there that hasn't been fully explored. He compared him to Sam Darnold, not because of playing style, but because sometimes a player just needs the right opportunity to break out. It's a fair point. Think about Darnold's career. He struggled for years, but when he got the right moment, everything clicked. Could Rudolph be in line for that same kind of opportunity? If Rodgers sits, Rudolph's got a huge chance to prove himself. And don't forget what he did in 2023. He was the one who came in when things were looking bleak and turned the season around. 3 straight wins, a team back on track. It left an impression, to say the least. So if Rudolph steps in and starts showing what he can do, don't be shocked if this becomes a bigger conversation. The guy has been waiting for his moment. Could this be it? And speaking of things getting complicated, let's talk running backs. Jaylen Warren versus Kenneth Gainwell is becoming one of those debates that no one can seem to settle. Against Cincinnati, Warren looked like the guy. He started strong, ran hard, and set the tone for the offense. But then he got hurt. It wasn't a serious injury. But when he came back, the coaching staff decided to feature Gainwell. And that's where the confusion started. Warren had been the more consistent back, but Gainwell, he showed out. He caught passes, ran well, and had a monster game. It left fans scratching their heads. Why suddenly change the game plan when Warren had been doing exactly what was expected of him? The problem is the touches weren't even. Warren got his carries, but his involvement in the passing game dropped off a cliff. And that's odd, considering he had been a big factor in the air attack. So now the coaching staff has to decide, is Gainwell earning more opportunities, or is Warren's drop-off just due to injury? There's a real split among fans, and it's not going away anytime soon. Some want Warren back as the feature back, while others are calling for more touches for Gainwell. Either way, the team's decision here is going to make or break how the offense functions in the coming weeks. All in all, this team is in flux. Darnell Washington is turning into a weapon. Rodgers is fighting for a spot in a rivalry that means everything. Rudolph is waiting for his moment. And the running back situation? Yeah, that's got fans divided too. But it's clear, the team is moving in multiple directions, and the pressure is on. If you're a fan, you're on the edge of your seat, because this ride is only getting wilder.